Everything you hear in this video is alleged and for entertainment purposes only.
But nah, I mean, you one of the most influential, definitely, of the generation, because you kind of took where we was with it and was like, nah, I ain't finna try to even do this. I'm gonna start something new.
Right.
I'm gonna start something new and I'm gonna build from there.
It's too deep. It ain't nothing I can say about the trap y'all ain't said.
Right.
I'm from the trap, but it ain't nothing I can say about it. Y'all ain't said everything in the world.
And that's another thing, man. You know what I'm saying? What I've always respected from you, besides, you know, be talking about your fashion when you decide to, you know what I'm saying, put the dress on and all that other stuff. I'm like, well, one thing I know about Shawty is everything he's saying is exactly what it is.
Yeah, he gonna step.
You can't be out here talking about that shit, man. You can't be talking about that shit.
Yeah.
Putting yourself in the line of some kind of big time gangster type cat, and you ain't known for.
They gonna want to see. They gonna want to see
that shit you saying.
They gonna want to see.
Saying it. I have questions. Is it more than a coincidence that Young Thug has been one of the most successful artists of the past decade while also pushing demonic, destructive, and Masonic morals to the masses? Is it more than a coincidence that Young Thug has had several mysterious killings and shootings that's happened around him as his career continued to flourish? Is it more than a coincidence that Young Thug has been able to push a contradicting feminine energy while still portraying himself as a gangster to the masses? Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and stick around as we both cover and uncover the open secret about Young Thug. Jeffrey Lamar Williams was born August 16, 1991 in Sylvan Hills, Atlanta, Georgia. He is one of 11 children raised in severe poverty, which is one of the many reasons why he had a very difficult and troublesome childhood upbringing. From being in the streets at an early age and even spending some time in the juvenile system for breaking his teacher's arm in the 6th grade that led to him being expelled, aka Young Thug was already starting off in life on a bad note. He can be seen many times in videos and pictures flaunting guns, gang banging, and glorifying the quote-unquote street life. However, despite his ruthless behavior in the streets, this didn't deter him from recording music. In 2010, he debuted on his first song as a feature on True Royale's song called She Can Go. And from then on, he would never look back. He followed this up with a string of his own mixtapes, including I Came From Nothing 1, 2, and 3. But it wasn't until 2012 that Young Thug would catch the eye of Atlanta rap legend Gucci Mane and sign with him under Gucci's 1017 Brick Squad label. Thug would then release his mixtape 1017 Thug in 2013, which included features from Gucci Mane himself, Pee Wee Longway, and even Young Scooter, all popular Atlanta artists. Then his biggest single yet, Stoner, would be released the same year, but wouldn't really take off for him until 2014 after a remixed version of it would be released featuring Wale. He would also release Danny Glover around the same time, which would resonate well with the masses. However, in the same year, Young Thug would then be released from Gucci Mane's label due to Gucci's legal troubles and long sentence in jail, which would lead to Thug signing to a record company called 300 Entertainment, which is co-founded by Lyor Cohen and Kevin Liles. From that point, Young Thug would release Barter 6 and many other mixtapes and albums showcasing his musical talents and unique sound that would catapult him into superstardom.
How does it feel to make a meal when you ain't even signed yet? Hey, I'm sitting here like fuck a deal, cause it ain't even crossed my mind yet.
But what if I told you that it wasn't just talent and Young Thug's unique sound that made him stand out to achieve success that he has seen? What if I told you that Young Thug is connected to an elite group and has the sole purpose of sharing destructive morals and criminal life advice through his lyrics? Let's first talk about his obsession with feminizing the image of men. When Young Thug first came out, he could be seen in many photos wearing dresses, little girl clothes, painting his fingernails, wearing lipstick, and really tight clothes to complement the shape of his body in the same ways that women do. And he would even be seen calling his male friends lovers and bae. This would cause much controversy, as expected, from many people inside and outside the rap community. It would come off as very confusing to many young listeners when Young Thug would appear this way in pictures and music videos, but at the same time rap about the street life, such as violence, drugs, and murder. My personal opinion about this is that the record label strategically chose to do this to target a certain population. They knew that if it took a person who has, quote unquote street credibility and is known in real life in Atlanta for terrorizing the city due to his gang affiliation, surround him with other gangsters while making catchy music. This would greatly influence many young boys to follow in his footsteps and embrace the trend of dressing like women, to emasculate young black men. And it worked. This set off a trend throughout hip-hop with not just the fans, but also, other rap artists. The next thing we need to talk about is the symbolism in Young Thug's videos. Even as early in his career when Danny Glover debuted, which was at the very beginning of his career. The video for this song is very, very eerie, and Young Thug can be seen throwing up the Baphomet and devil horns as he stands in a red colored room. For those of you who don't know, the Red Room is supposedly known throughout the years as a room where people are video recorded doing many unspeakable things, such as torturing people who are tied up and gagged. Use your imagination. Due to YouTube's community guidelines, I cannot go into great detail. Please feel free to do your own research on the Red Room. And if you are in denial or believe that what I'm saying is a stretch, then check this out. Throughout the Danny Glover video, you can also see two women who appear to be very romantically involved, high on drugs of some sorts, and covered in blood as they literally poured on each other. This further confirms the connection to the Red Room. Another person in this video that can be seen is Birdman. Birdman has been instrumental in Young Thug's career as well, as he is featured in many of Thug's videos and songs. One in particular is the song Check by Young Thug. This is one of his biggest records. In this video, mostly men, including Young Thug and Birdman, can be seen on what appears to be a tour bus of some sort, dancing and singing the words to his song while showing off money and jewelry. Well, something that's strange is how Young Thug can be seen wearing a Hooters tank top with his hair back in a ponytail, which adds to the image of looking like a woman. Then, to make matters even worse, at one point you can see Birdman standing behind him with a tank top on at one point, and then when the next scene shows Birdman again, an almost 50-year-old man at the time can now be seen dancing like a teenager with his shirt off behind Thug. The imagery and undertone to the symbolism in these videos are not a coincidence and give off vibes and energy that replicate that of homosexual behavior. Now, let me be clear, this is not a bash at all on anyone who classifies themselves as gay or homosexual, etc. But instead, this is about men who claim to be heterosexual but send confusing messages to our youth through their music and music videos. Birdman is old enough to be Young Thug's dad, yet he's participating in this suspect and confusing behavior as well. But it doesn't surprise me, as Birdman has been a part of the problem for decades. If you would like to see an open secret about Birdman, please comment Birdman below. If 75 people comment Birdman, that will be one of my next videos. The next music video we need to talk about is probably the most heavily occultic, Masonic, and satanic music video of Young Thug's career. Young Thug and Lil Uzi Vert, they have a song together called Up. And in the video for this song, you can see many different satanic references that I've talked about in other videos on this channel. That includes an upside down pentagram that is painted on the faces of women who are wearing Baphomet horns on their heads. You can see an owl many times shown throughout the video, which I believe is in allegiance to Moloch, a 40-foot owl at a place in California called the Bohemian Grove that only the richest and most powerful men in the world are allowed. I believe that Moloch is just another paganistic form of the Baphomet and or Lucifer that these men are worshipping. Young Thug can also be seen throwing up devil horns once again, just like in the Danny Glover video. Also, at one point you can see the camera zoom into Young Thug's eyes to show a pair of individuals covered in black and white patterns. This, I believe, is to show duality, as above so below, just like the Masonic checkerboard flooring that you can see throughout the entire video as well. This is no coincidence that all of these things are featured in this one video. It is plain as day and so blatant. The lyrics of the song is mostly glorifying heavy drug use and killing people, which is destructive enough in its own right. But what does the video have to do with the song though? It literally has nothing to do with the lyrics, or at least this is what many people may think. I am under the belief that the lyrics in the video coincide perfectly because the Masons run the record labels and therefore control the artists, and it is their job to push destructive Masonic morals. I am under the belief that there is, and still and has always been, an agenda to associate destructive morals with the imagery seen in the video to normalize it. Check out the lyrics for Young Thug's song Baby, where he is rapping about giving his soul to the devil. A lot of people think that these artists are just using a figure of speech or some sort of metaphor. But if you take a look at everything else that's happening around them, right, context matters. It is very difficult not to see the connections to something very demonic and sinister. Many people don't even know that Young Thug himself is a Freemason.
I'm a Mason. I beat all my cases. I'm a Mason. I beat all my cases.
Not only does he say it himself, but there is a picture online of what appears to be Young Thug showing off his proof of initiation into a Masonic lodge. So it's not a coincidence that he would be pushing the heavy symbolism in his videos. But one of the strangest things about Young Thug is not even the cross-dressing that he does. It is arguably the people around him that have died under mysterious circumstances. For instance, on March 18th of this year, it was reported that the mother of one of Young Thug's sons had her life taken outside of a bowling alley following an argument with some man inside of the bowling alley. Then just 2 months later, Lil Keed, a very popular artist signed to Young Thug, was reported to have passed away under unknown circumstances at this point. This second passing of Lil Keed came just days after it was announced that Young Thug and majority of his record label had been arrested on RICO charges for facing decades in prison. That deserves its own entire video in itself. If you would like to see an entire video on the insane YSL indictment case, comment YSL below. Well, I don't believe it's just a coincidence that both of these deaths happened just 2 months within each other, both under very questionable circumstances. Also, if you remember what Young Thug said in his video where he admitted to being a Mason, I find it interesting that this video didn't surface until about a month before his indictment, right around the time he released promo for an upcoming album that shows Young Thug covered in blood. This is more proof, in my opinion, of something far more sinister and possibly sacrificial going on. As difficult as it may be for many to realize, Young Thug is a puppet just like the rest of these artists. He has the influence to keep people in a constant cycle of embracing demonic and destructive morals while praising and idolizing other human beings, so that we do not focus on self, salvation, and giving our undevoted time and attention to the one and only Most High God Almighty. Please understand this and protect your energy and soul at all times. Do you believe this is all just a coincidence? Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment who or what you'd like me to make a video on next. I believe it is not only my responsibility, but many others' responsibility to unapologetically raise awareness and speak truth to light to the best of our ability, despite how people may feel about it. If you notice evil and choose to not speak on it, please understand that this makes you a part of the problem and not the solution. Respectfully, there is no in between. All praise be to the Most High. The truth is all that there is, and that's not a coincidence. I have questions. Do you?